Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? So today, well, first let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening to this from. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I also hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas and the new year is right around the corner. I cannot believe it is going to be 2025 in a couple of days. So I hope you guys are planning to celebrate it carefully and safely, but enjoy your new year. So, um, please let me know if you guys can hear me, can't hear me, whatever, just so I know that I'm coming through. So, today we are going to talk about financial freedom for Black women 50 and beyond. And I'm going to have on Miss Halisi from Our Black Utopia. And she's going to talk about everything from mindset to just getting your money right and, hopefully retiring on time or retiring early, because that is a big issue in the Black community and amongst Black women. Thank you, Doghouse. You can hear me. Thank you. So, yeah, it's a big issue. And, we want to try and get some information out there on how you can you know, retire with a decent nest egg or at least start working towards building that financial freedom and that wealth. As a Black woman, especially in our 50s, we've started late. We need to kind of take that by the rein and, start working towards building that nest egg so we can retire. And there's many different ways and there's, many options. So when she comes on, just waiting for her, we will go ahead and talk about that. But before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Angela. Welcome to Unapologetically 50 Plus, where we delve into the real, raw, and rewarding experiences of Black women 50 and beyond. Usually, you see me on here with my husband, Pierre, and we talk about relationship goals and marriage issues and all those wonderful things. But today, this is a podcast that I've started on my own, where we talk to and about the things women, Black women in particular, 50 and beyond, the things that we go through, the things that we some hurdles we have to get over. So this is one of them, and there'll be many other topics that we're going to talk about. But if you are in the comments or watching, please let me know where you are listening from, and if there are any particular topics you guys want to talk about, especially, and it can be from even men. It doesn't have to be particularly from women. If there are any particular topics you want to know about, um, and pertaining to women in this age range, then, let me know and I'll figure out who to get on here, who are the experts, because I'm definitely not an expert in every field of being 50, well, 58 now. So I'm pushing up on that second, well, the 60s decade, which I'm looking forward to. I am looking forward to it. I can tell you that, as a woman in her 50s, late 50s, we do go through transformation. We go through um, a lot of things that our mothers didn't talk to us about. So it's nice to if we can pass this knowledge and information on to, you know, um, younger women, men, so they can kind of understand what's going on, especially if you're married to a 50 something year old. That really this might be helpful um, for you. Sorry about that. But anyway, so let's see what else while we're waiting for her. What else can we talk about? If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. If you have any questions for Halisi when she comes on, please put it in the comment section and I will, let's see. What are some, oh, well, who are some of my upcoming guests? Okay. Now I have to think about it. You caught me off guard there. Let's see. We're going to have Riva. She does a podcast on actually YouTubing. She does a podcast, but I follow her, try to pick up on some of her helpful tips. So she will be on. Um, I am finalizing with Krishan from Black Global. She, said she'd be on. Um, oh my gosh. And some ladies that I had just posted, I had sent out a post on not TikTok, but Instagram threads. And I had a lot of feedback from a lot of wonderful ladies that I've had an opportunity to speak with. So I'll have, just some folks that just or everyday Black women coming on, and we will be talking about, um, mindset for women in their 50s. I know Doghouse Films, he'd be like, "Mindset." That's my husband. He's listening in on this too, so he's listening. But yeah, mindset. Um, we're gonna talk about aging gracefully. How what does that look like? Um, I'll definitely have Catrice back on, her my co-host, so I will definitely have her back on. And let's see. Yeah, I mean, that's all I can think of right now. I don't have my list in front of me. So, but yeah, we'll have a lot of different ladies coming on and just talking about a lot of issues, and it's not going to all be doom and gloom. Definitely not. It's just going to be helpful information that hopefully will give you guys an idea, and just, you can pick our brains. And especially I was thinking, especially for the ladies who are in their 40s, who late 40s, mid 40s, who are coming up on, their 50s, they're going to want to know, what do I have to look forward to? What is going to go on in this new or second half, if that's what you want to call it, second half of my life. And I can tell you that it can be amazing if you make it amazing. Hold on. Elise calling me. Hold on. Hey, Elise.
Hey there.
You want me to WhatsApp it to you, or you want me to just send it to you? Okay, y'all. Let me see if I can do this while I have you on, because I am not the techie person. So let me see, without me cutting anybody off, let me see if I can get her on here. Invite. Um, let me see if I can Gmail it to her. Message her. Hold on, y'all. No, I can't do it that way. So hold on, y'all. Sorry about this. I am trying to send her the link again right now, because I don't know how to. I'm gonna have to call my husband in here in a minute. Let's see if she got it. Let me let her know I had to just email her, because I don't know how to WhatsApp it to her. So, so hold on just a minute, y'all. But thank you for your patience. And hopefully she will be on in just a few. Um, yeah, I don't know how to WhatsApp it to her. Hold on just a minute, y'all. Thank you for your patience, y'all. We'll be on just a minute. Trying to get her on the line, or get her on the call right now. Hold on just a minute, y'all. Thank you. Hey, y'all. Thank you for your patience. So we were having technical difficulty trying to get Miss Halisi on, but I think we got her on. Let me see. Can you hear me?
I can. I
Okay.
can.
Everybody, thank you so much for your patience.
Yes, I am so sorry. Oh my gosh, it should have just been lickety split. It
So
should have been just lickety split. And I
you
don't
didn't
know
get
that
the email, huh?
no, it never came through.
Oh,
It
okay.
never came through.
Oh, okay. Well, that's hey.
Yeah.
Y'all, thank you for your patience. I hope thank you for your patience. That's all I can say. Sometimes with these lives, you never know what's going to happen and you got to wing it. And this is good practice for me because I'm not used to winging it. Pierre and I will usually do pre-records. So, when you do a pre-record, you can always cut off all the madness. So
Right? I'm
so
trying
this
to
all this is doing is teaching me how to wing it because I'm not good at winging it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm horrible at winging it.
going live is something else. Going live is something else.
All right. So everyone, here is Halisi from Our Black Utopia. Uh, so I've already introduced. Let me give you a little background on Miss Halisi. So she is her and her husband Rick have a wonderful podcast called Our Black Utopia, and they talk about getting your money straight, as Halisi says, getting your money straight. They talk about travel, and the one thing I love that they talk about, getting the hell out of the United States. Get out. She
Right.
is a financial coach, not an advisor, a financial coach. She's an avid traveler. She just came back from where, Halisi? Where were you?
We were in Thailand and Singapore.
Nice. So they just got back from Thailand and Singapore, and they live in beautiful Lisbon, Portugal, which I would be making my second scouting trip in March. So hopefully you'll be around, Halisi, so we can break bread together or just say hello. So
That's the plan.
all right. So I was telling them we were going to talk about financial freedom for Black women 50 and beyond, building wealth, at least, and getting that started. And just hopefully, like you say, hopefully retire early, but at least on time. So that's what we are going to talk about today. And if you guys have any questions, please remember to put it in the comments, put a Q in front of it, and then we can answer your questions. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So, Halisi, I guess my first question is helping Black women in their 50s and beyond, 'cause I'm sure you help a wide range of folks in our age range,
Yeah.
achieve financial freedom. Um, and since we do have, as Black women, we have a unique set of challenges. What areas do you focus on?
So I think the first area is, can you guys hear me okay? Because the mic is not on. I'm just using the computer mic.
I can hear you. Yeah. Can you
Okay.
guys hear her in the audience out there? Because if you cannot, please let us know.
Yeah,
Um,
Rick is going to come try to get the mic on. But in the meantime, I think that the main thing is that we do not pay attention to how much money we spend.
Hey, Rick.
And so, I think we let things kind of happen, and we hope that one day we will be able to retire, but we don't do anything proactively to make that happen. Now, that's not everybody. That's not everybody, because I've met some people who have had their stuff together much longer than us and still don't realize they can retire. So I think the first, yeah,
I mean,
because
hold on. You hear that? Because I know Pierre's listening. You hear that, babe? You hear that? You hear what she said? So you're okay. Okay.
look, we have coached people who have had their financial act together much longer than we have. And
Mhm.
but if you if you listen to the Susie Ormans of the world, if you listen to the Trump supporting Dave Ramseys of the world, um, look, we gonna call them out. We gonna call out every person who does not support the Black community and has
Yeah.
taken action to say that they don't support the Black community, right?
Right,
So
right.
if you listen to what Trump supporting Dave Ramsey says or Susie Orman, then you need millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars before you can even think about retiring, which doesn't
Right.
make logical sense. Because if you think about it, all you need to know is what your future expenses are going to be and where is
Mhm.
that money going to come from,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah,
And
true.
then you have a bit extra for the things that you just cannot predict. But
Okay.
most things we can predict, right? Like we know there's a chance we might need assisted living. We know that we're going to need healthcare in the future. We know these things, right?
Yeah.
What we don't know is if there is going to be, some weddings, some this or some that we may need to participate in, and that's going to cost us money. But
Right.
we know that the probability of that is pretty large, right? It's probable there's a funeral, there's
Right.
a wedding, or something
Exactly.
that we're going to need to participate in, birthday, et cetera, that we're going to need to participate in, and there's going to be some money for that. But other than that, we know we know how much money we're going to need. Now, if we have saved that money, let's just say we decide we can live on $50,000 a year today.
Mhm. Mhm.
People go, well, I don't know what that's going to equal 25 years from now.
Okay.
None of us do.
No.
None
No.
of us do. But what we do know is that if we have set aside a certain amount of money and it is growing at a rate of, let's just say, 8 to 15% per year, and on average, inflation is about 6% per year. People, they say lower, but I don't believe that. And we know that there's weird years like right after
Right.
the pandemic, but then it goes back down. Like right now, they're saying it's at 2.8 or 3.1% or something like that.
Doesn't feel like that in California.
I can understand. I can understand. And the national inflation rate is not necessarily equal state to state. That's average, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And then in California, you get things for your tax dollars that most people in other states do not get. So there's that
Mm.
one too.
Okay.
But yeah, so if we know that, if we know that our money is growing at a rate of 8 to 15% and that inflation is less than that, then we know that our money we're taking into account inflation.
Okay.
So the first step is, where is your money going?
And that's the hard part, 'cause like you said, I don't think we really want to we don't wanna face that dog and that, we don't wanna face that. We don't really wanna look at it, which is okay, yeah. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, so there's a few ways you can do it. And the easiest way is to get on one of the platforms from a trusted agent like Empower. We used to
Mhm.
be with one that was owned by the TurboTax people, Intuit.
Okay.
And they folded that into NerdWallet. I think they bought out NerdWallet
Right.
and then they got rid
Right,
of
right,
the
right.
thing and did NerdWallet.
Mhm.
Does not do all the things that the other one did. So that's kind of frustrating. So
Okay.
so there's Empower there, and there's a couple of them. You can just go on, you can just Google that.
Well,
But
yeah, yeah.
basically, they call it a budgeting tool. To me, it's more than a budgeting tool because we don't believe in budgets. We don't believe in budgets. Nobody wants to do that. Come on, Angela.
No,
Like, right?
I
Like,
tried.
who wants to look at their expenses every month and say, okay, well, we were only supposed to spend, $50 on clothing and we spent 65. So now we
Right.
find $15 from
No, that's a lot, and it won't keep people focused and engaged in looking at their money. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And so one of the things that these platforms do is you connect them to all of your accounts and they track where the money is going. But I think that it is a good exercise to do it the old-fashioned way, the way
pen
we
to
did it.
paper.
Well, not that old-fashioned, but we we downloaded. I downloaded 3 months worth of all of our credit card bills and our bank statements,
Mhm,
uploaded them into Excel, and then did
mhm.
some sorting in Excel
Okay.
and labeling to see where the money was going.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And what we realized way back in 2017, 2018,
Mhm.
is that we were spending over $1,000, sometimes $1,000 a month, just he and I eating out way back then. Now I know it's probably
Yeah.
easier today to do that, but we're talking
Yes.
about 2017, 2018,
Yeah.
and it's like neither one of us was making six figures,
Right. Right.
so we don't have it like that. We don't have it like that.
Yeah. And
Right?
and 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 I was gonna say, and that's the other thing, because there is a mindset to doing all this. You can't just you really have to wanna do it, and you really have to stick to it. So for you, when you're coaching folks, do you ever get into the area of, "Okay, we need to first we need to work on your mindset." And if not, do you think that's something that people need to first work on before they start moving into this, budgeting, or not budgeting, but knowing where your money goes? Is that to you, is that important? And do people need to work on that first?
I don't know that we have the luxury at 50 years old to work on something first, right? Like,
Okay.
because you're already late, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're close to 50 or over 50 and you
Yeah.
have not been really aggressively saving for retirement, you really don't
Mhm.
have any time to spare.
Mhm.
Especially with the melon felon coming in, you really don't have any time to spare. So the notion that, oh, first I'm gonna spend 4 or 5 months, working on my money mindset, right? And our
Okay.
of course our course Beyond the Bling, we do have a whole module regarding mindset. But I think
Okay.
we can do both at the same time, right? And so
Okay.
I think that especially downloading your statements and sorting that and looking at it, and then doing, on a piece of paper, maybe, you do
Mhm.
you do 3 lines, right? And you
Right.
say expenses, and or 4 line, 3 or 4 line, I don't know, but you list your expenses,
Right.
then you list how much it is, you list what you're going to get rid of, what you can substitute, and what
Mhm.
you're going to keep.
Okay.
So like cell phone, we cannot get rid of cell phones, right? Like
Unfortunately. Yeah.
not 2025. This is just not going to
Right.
be the thing we're going to do, right? But does that mean that you have to be on Verizon? Does that mean you have to be on AT&T? Is there a less expensive service that will give you the same service? So
Okay.
that's the
Okay.
replacement part, right? And then you look at all your damn subscriptions. You got Hulu, you
Mm.
got cable, you got Netflix, you got Prime, you got Disney, you got the NFL package and the this package and the that package and all this
That
stuff,
adds up.
right? And then
Yes.
you're spending $300, $400 per month on entertainment. And
Mhm.
what are you really watching? Like we figured out, oh, we were watching on expanded cable with HBO and this and that. It was one show on HBO that we liked, Shameless, and the news,
Mhm.
and that was it.
That was it.
That was
Yeah.
it. Like, we could watch the news online. Like, why are we paying that cable
Mhm.
company? Because see, here in Portugal, cable is €30 a month. With no movie stations, but still, it's 30-year-old
It's
money,
30.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's another story. But when you're talking about, they'll take it down to like 110, 130, 140. You think you're doing well, and the next thing you know, it's been creeping back up,
Creeping back up.
and you turn
Hmm.
around later, and it's 200 again, right?
Right.
Or whatever, whenever that contract expired, and they'll do that, And so, and then on top of that, you still go into the movies. You're
Yeah.
still going to see
Yeah.
plays, right? You're
Yeah.
still going
Mhm.
out and all of this other stuff. And then we tell ourselves, now here's the money mindset part. And then we tell ourselves, well, we deserve that. We worked hard, we deserve to not have to cook.
Yeah.
And my answer to that is no, you don't. No, you don't. Because had you been saving 20% of your salary from the moment you graduated or from whenever you got your first job,
Mhm.
then
Mhm.
yes,
Then
you
yes.
do. But you don't, me included, right? You done screwed around, and just spent money willy-nilly your
Yeah.
whole life. Maybe you've got $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 in savings. And so you're not one of those folks who's like $1,000, $400 to $1,000 away from a catastrophe per se, but
Yeah.
you ain't got enough to retire. I mean,
Right. Right.
no. So I
So
think looking at your expenses and really breaking it down is the first step to really changing your mindset, because now you've got a reality check. And you
right.
can't live in la la land talking about, I just don't know where all the money goes. I just need to
Um,
make more money, right? I just need to make more money. Well,
and that's
maybe.
and but I would say we make more money, and then what do? We spend more money. So we're not putting that extra, say 3 or 4%. You get a 3 or 4% bump in your raise. You're not putting that into your 401k or retirement. You're like, oh, okay, where are we going for the holidays? What are we? Where I want that big screen TV or whatever.
Exactly.
So no, we're
Exactly.
not doing that. And that's and
Exactly.
that and that's I found myself doing that, and it's so easy now to actually put that money away because you can have it automatically come out your check, but you got to sign that form or you got to make that change in the computer or whatever, but you have to do it. And
You
that's
have
the
to do
problem
it.
that we're having is we're not doing it. Yes,
And
we know you are, Pierre. He said, I
so,
am.
and so that's step two. After you have
Yeah.
evaluated your expenses, then you
Mhm.
see what your savings rate is. And your savings rate is simply the amount of money that you are putting in investments and savings divided by the income that comes into your pause. Right? And that
Okay.
includes 401k. So even if you've got, let's just say $100 per paycheck coming out and going into your 401k, you put that
Mhm.
$100 back into your income, and then you include the $100 you're putting into your 401k into your savings and investments to do that math.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Because
Okay.
whether it's pre-tax money or after-tax money is irrelevant, right? Like the fact is you're saving money and you're investing
Right.
it.
Right.
So, so Rick and I, the last couple of years, we were saving 65% of our income.
Okay.
65% of our income, and that tells you how much money we were wasting,
Exactly. No, exactly. Because I
right?
know somebody's gonna say 65%, how are you doing that? But you're right. If you go through those steps of budgeting and saying what you can get rid of, it's probably easy to save 65% because you're getting rid of the bullshit that
Exactly,
you don't need.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And so once you know your savings rate, then you know where you've got to go. Maybe you're saving 10% of your income, like the Susie Ormans of the world say, right? That's never enough. And especially not
Mm-mm.
for Black folks, okay? Because
No.
Black women are on the lowest of the pay scale,
Yeah.
right? We make, if I remember correctly, something like 65 cents to every white man's dollar, regardless
Mm.
of education,
Right. Right. Right.
right? But racism is dead. It's just our fault. The degrees don't matter, right? It's just our fault. So if we know that, and we know that the odds are stacked against us, then we know that we should not be playing their game of keeping up with the Joneses and extreme consumerism. Because at the
Right.
end of the day, like, we collect all of this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and the stuff does not have any monetary value for the most part. All right.
Right.
Unless you're collecting antiques or you're buying 24 karat gold or something like that, it does
Right.
not have any value beyond
Mm-hmm.
your sentiment. And chances are, don't nobody in your family want that stuff.
No.
They don't want it.
No.
They don't
Mm-mm.
want it. So all that
No.
stuff, you're like, oh, I'm going to will this to this person, and this, they don't want it. And it hurt my feelings. Like, when we got rid of most of our stuff to move to Portugal, and I was like, asking my son what he wanted, and calling my goddaughter and stuff like that, and even my mom's stuff, calling my sister.
Nobody
They,
wants it.
they,
So yeah, you end up throwing it away. So that was wasted. That was money gone, basically. Right.
and so then you've got to say, okay, was that knickknack really worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Did that knickknack bring me joy? And chances are you're going to say, no. What would have brought me more joy is experiencing something, whether it is front row tickets at a concert, which those memories you can never take away, right? Or it is a trip to Singapore and Thailand, right?
Right.
I would rather spend my money on things that actually enhance my life, and stuff
Mm-hmm.
and things are not it.
Right.
They're just not
No,
it.
you're right.
So Rick and I, we wrote a letter to the Joneses,
Mm-hmm.
breaking up with them. We broke up with them, and we're like, look, we're not playing this game with you anymore. We're not doing that. We're just not doing that. And and then we burned it in the fireplace, right? Like,
Right.
let's
Right.
just make it official. We are not playing this game anymore. And so once you figure out your savings rate, then you got to see if that's enough to get you where you want to go.
Right.
So here's the calculation. It's real simple. If you say, let's say 50, what did I say? $50,000?
50. Mm-hmm.
So, come on, I'm trying to pull up my calculator here. So 50,000 divided by 12
Mm-hmm.
is $4,166 a month.
A month. Mm-hmm.
Where's that money going to come from?
Yeah.
It could come from your savings, in which case we'll go back to the 50,000. You need to take the 50,000 and multiply that times 25. And that's how much you need in savings and investments,
Okay.
mostly investments, 1.25 million. Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's just say you're at 52, you qualify for a pension. At 55, you qualify for a pension. And if you wait till 62, it's going to be, 4,000. But if you take it at 55 or something like that, it's only going to be 2,600, 2,700 or something like that. Right.
Uh-huh.
So then the question is 27 minus 4,666. So then the question is, where's that other 2,000 going to come from?
The difference will come from. Right. Right.
And so if you take the 2,000, the difference, times 12, now you need $24,000 a year, times 25. So now what you need to have in savings is 600,000.
Okay. Okay.
That sounds more doable than 1.25 million. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds more doable. And so once you figure out your savings rate, then the question is, how am I going to get to that 600,000, or how am I going to get to that 1.25 million? And a lot of times what we find is that we have to increase our income, or we have to drastically lower our expenses.
Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of folks are, and I don't know if the if this was one of the reason y'all, other than you want to get out of the United States, but I listen to you all the time, and one of the things you were saying is to reduce your expenses. You might have to move to another state or another country or whatnot. Um, so, is that one of the ways that you help your when you're doing your coaching? Is that one of the suggestions you give to your folks, or what avenues do you kind of, how do you help them in that way?
Well, for those who are willing to leave the country, geo arbitrage is real. Now, geo arbitrage doesn't mean that you have to leave the country, right? It could mean that you move from LA to the Inland Empire. Like, who would want to do that? But
Right. Yeah.
But right, maybe you move from Chicago to someplace in Alabama. Now, I wouldn't want to do any of those things. I'd rather
No.
move to Mexico.
Right. Exactly.
I'd rather
Yes.
move to Mexico and get
Mhm.
away from them gringos because because I mean, we find that we have privilege as Black Americans, as Black English speaking folks, I should say,
Mhm.
outside
Mhm.
of the United States, outside of
Yeah.
Canada. We have
Right.
privilege. Maybe
Yeah.
not in England so much, but definitely outside of that, we have privilege. And so why would you want to stay in a place that has consistently told you that they don't give a damn about you?
Yeah.
They've said it with their actions. They've said it with their laws. The group of people that are in the majority say it with their actions on a daily basis. This country is
Yes.
not for you. And
Right.
so, this notion that we cling to, well, my ancestors built this and blah, 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 whoop-de-woo. And then you hear from the Israelite tribe and all of this other stuff is like, do you, boo? Like, if you want to
Right.
stay in purgatory, if you want to stay in an abusive relationship, because that's what the United States is,
Yeah.
and that brings you joy,
Right.
first of all, let's say, why aren't you going to therapy? Because I'm not sure why an abusive relationship would bring you joy. So that's number one.
Oh.
And number two, then there's nothing to say. But if you're gonna if geo arbitrage is on the table, then you might as well leave the United States because
Right.
there are too many lovely cities around the world that are just as good as, if not better than, any city in the United States. Safer, less expensive, people are cooler,
Mhm.
more
The
chill.
food is better,
Food is clean,
medical, you know.
right? All of that. Why would you
Mhm.
stay? Why would you
Right.
stay? And Angela, look,
I know.
the United States does not deserve us.
No, they
It does
don't.
not deserve us. It does
No,
not deserve us. So yeah, we do when we coach. If that is on the table, which it usually is for folks who watch us because they know that's our
Right.
shit. Look, I
Right.
I, I think America needs to feel the pain
Yeah.
of a Black brain drain. It needs to feel the pain. Maybe then they will start respecting those who have stayed behind.
Right.
Once
Right.
they understand the impact of our contributions on that
Right.
in,
Right.
in that system, right? So, because
Exactly.
right now they just want to downplay it, but you saw the movie A Day Without a Mexican from back in the day. Have you seen
I
that movie?
haven't. No, I have A Day Without a Mexican? Okay, I'll have to watch that. No, I haven't seen that.
And there's another one about if all the Black people disappeared too. Like
Mhm.
if 20% of Black Americans left the country,
And took their money.
well, yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
you at least take your spending money, right? Depending
right.
upon
Well,
what you
yeah, you're spending money, yeah,
right, you
because you
might
always
not
gotta pay.
exactly. You might not want to move your money out of those investment accounts,
No.
right?
Right,
But
right, right.
and take your money, right? Like if 20% of Black Americans left the country, it would lead to a financial collapse. Like you can Google it, ask AI. It would lead to a financial collapse of the
Mhm.
United States.
Yeah,
Um, the heart and the blood and the soul of America is Black folks,
definitely.
right?
Definitely.
Because
Without a
culture
doubt.
is based upon the arts.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
we know who rules the arts. Now,
Amen.
we might not rule it power-wise and money-wise, but we know who the creators are, right?
Right.
So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. They're not trying to do that. And look, if they see too many of us leaving,
Yeah.
they might turn around and start trying to stop it.
And that's my concern. So it's like, yeah, if you're gonna do it, do it ASAP. Don't sit around and wait thinking that, oh, we'll be okay.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, no.
Yeah.
Uh-uh. I, I think that some people believe that this is just business as usual, and it's not.
No. No.
It's not. I don't think we've ever been here before. We've been in some bad situations, but not like this.
Mhm.
Not with
Yeah.
someone who has said they want to trash the Constitution of the United States.
Mm.
Um, and maybe it needs to be trashed for people to wake up. I don't know.
Yeah.
But once you figure that out and you lower your expenses, so um, house hacking is the biggest way to do that.
Mhm. I wish
So,
I would have known that when I was younger. House hacking? Yeah. Yeah.
so for those who are not in the position to leave today
Mhm.
or tomorrow, I would buy a multifamily home. Real estate is the fastest way to financial independence.
Yes. Mhm.
It just is. And so if you're like, well, I don't want to be a landlord, okay, then it's going to take longer. Like
Mm.
people call, well, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And it's like, baby,
Then you
you
don't want
gave up those choices when you weren't saving at 20 years old.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so what you're saying is you don't want to retire. You don't want financial freedom
Mhm.
because all you
Mhm.
talk about is what you don't want to do.
But you don't wanna do.
And
And I know it's harder as we get older to make those changes, but you gotta decide, okay, a little bit of being uncomfortable and doing something you don't wanna do for a long-term outcome that is gonna be beneficial to you. You gotta decide that. And it's not easy, but is it gonna be easy working until you 70, 75 or dead?
that part.
That's that don't sound that does not sound appealing on any level.
It does not. It does not. And
Yeah.
so like, so house hack, because our biggest expense is housing.
Yep. Yeah.
So if you're renting, and you have more than one bedroom, can you rent out a bedroom?
Right.
Can you cut that expense, right?
Right. Right.
Um, or downsize. We've seen with some people, it would be less expensive, like they've owned their home for enough years that they can get rent to cover their mortgage.
Mhm.
Um, but they can rent for less than their mortgage, a smaller place. Then go
In
rent,
some places. I don't know about here in the Bay Area, but in some
right?
places, yeah.
Well, the Bay Area is an anomaly, right? But and it's just, in most places, like there was a while in Denver where it was cheaper to buy than rent.
Mhm. Yeah.
That is not the case anymore. But
Okay.
I'm talking about a smaller place though, right? So
Right.
if you've owned your home for 6 or 7 years and you've got 3, 4 bedrooms and you don't need all of those, because we spend a lot of money on space
Yeah,
for
we
what ifs.
Thank you. That's exactly what I tell Pierre. I'm like, you know, he has these what ifs, I was like, "What if? If they if the kids have to come back, they'll have to figure it out. We got this small little bedroom, you're welcome to stay here, but you need to pay some rent." So,
Uh, yeah, it is not my job to spend money every single month to save space for other people's poor choices.
yeah. Yeah.
Because even when it comes to our adult kids, there are some choices that they can be making that would
Mhm.
put them in a different situation so that they wouldn't have to necessarily do that. Now,
Right.
we know student loans and this and that and the other, but we also know that most of our adult kids have made some stupid decisions. Like one of our sons, as soon as he graduated, he wanted us to co-sign on a loan for a brand new SUV.
He
Negro,
said,
no.
"No, sir. No, sir."
He was so pissed at us. He did not speak to us for about 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he
Oh,
was pissed.
well. Oh,
You help so and so. No, we didn't co-sign on nobody's. No kids got a co-sign. None of them. None of them. So I don't want to
mm,
hear you did this for this person and did that for your brother, your sister. This no, we did not. No, sir. So
mm,
and
yeah.
but he went ahead and bought it,
Yeah.
and God only knows what interest rate,
Yeah.
right? And now at 30 something, he's like, "Well, I wish we was trying to tell you."
Trying to tell you. And sometimes they gotta learn the hard way.
You got to learn the hard way
Sometimes you gotta
because
learn.
no one cares. And any woman who does not understand that it's more important that you have reliable transportation than the latest, and you tell her, look, all that extra money, I'm getting rid of my student loans. All that extra money, I'm saving and investing. And she don't
Yeah.
understand that, you don't need to be with her. She ain't for you. Because she's gonna die broke.
Yeah.
If she keeps on that path, she's gonna die broke, and you don't need to be with
Yeah.
her, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So once you figure out the savings rate, we suggest that you start increasing it by 1% at regular intervals
Okay.
until it hurts.
And we're not talking maybe once a year. You probably talking about once a month or once every couple months just to break it in. Not once a year, y'all, because I've heard you say this before.
Yeah, not once a
Once a
year.
month. Once a
Yes,
month.
maybe even every paycheck.
Oh. Oh. Yeah.
If you
That
do it like that, especially for
right.
those who get paid twice a month as opposed to every other week.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
And what do you think the percentage at the very top, what is it, 20% is what you usually suggest when it comes to your 401k?
it
You s
depends on how much money you make. If you
Okay.
can, it depends on how much money you make. It depends on
Mhm.
when you need that money.
Okay.
Um, and I suggest if you can max it out, max it out.
Oh, okay.
If you're not going to need that money, like, okay, so the thing about 401ks and all pre-tax money, right, is that you cannot access it until you're 59 and a half. So you've got to
Right.
take that into consideration. And so that's why I say,
Mhm.
when do you need it? Maybe you put, thinking about when and if you're going to need the money. Pre-tax money should be the money that you need the furthest out. After
Okay.
tax money, but tax deferred money, like a IRA, can be
Mhm.
money that you need sooner.
Okay.
And then your brokerage account money is your brokerage account money. Your
Right.
savings money is your savings money. Laddered CDs where you buy 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 18 months CDs, and that could be emergency fund money. Every 3 months,
Mm.
CDs are maturing, and then do you need it? No. Okay, good. Then reinvest it, right? Um,
Okay.
so that's money that you need 4 years and less. Money invested should not be needed for at least 5 years.
Okay.
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 So, and the reason why, so if you're putting a bunch of money in your 401k and you have no money accessible for those first 2 to 3 years, then you will run into issues with having to pay, depending upon how old you are, you're either going to have to pay taxes on it as it comes out, which is fine. You know that you're going to have to do that.
Right.
Or you'll get penalized, right? If you're
Right.
not old enough
Right.
to withdraw. And so that's the issue. So that's why you've got to be strategic in where you put your money.
Okay. Okay.
So 20% for a person who's 50 years old is not enough. If you're
Wow.
starting at near zero, that's not enough.
Okay. Okay.
That is not enough because, I mean, think about it. Let's just say you make $100,000 per year.
Mm-hmm.
20% is 20,000, and you need 1.25 million. So let's do the math. 1.2 million divided by 20,000. That's 62 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
that's not
it's
gonna
not
work.
62 years because you're investing it, and the assumption is it's going to grow at about an average rate of 10 to 13%, right? And
Right.
so it's probably going to be like 55 years or something like that. But,
Right.
and that's why I say real estate, because the object is to figure out where that money is coming from. The hardest way to do it is to save your expenses times 25.
Right.
Because we're talking about 1.25 million. But if you're saying, I just need $4,000 a month,
Mm-hmm.
and you can rent out your house and you clear after your mortgage, you clear 2,000, you clear 1,500.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you
You
buy,
make a difference.
if you have a duplex and you're clearing 3,000, like what are we doing, right? We can
Right.
easily see a pathway if we have, a few pieces of property, we can clearly see a pathway to $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month,
A month. Mm-hmm.
right? And it's a little bit
Yeah.
harder to do that when you're talking about investments. So as I said, we were saving 65% of our income.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Angela, I don't know where you
So
got that 20%. The 20% is for 20-year-olds. The 20% is for 20-year-olds. If
hey,
you're
that's why I have you on here to keep me straight. Because hey,
if you're 50 and you only have 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 saved, you don't got time for that. You don't have time for bonds. You don't have time to be invested in, the 65-year-old package that they have
right.
in those
You have
401k.
to be aggressive. You got to
Right.
be aggressive. Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
those packages oftentimes include mutual funds that are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
They
Right.
include bonds
Yes.
that are not making you any money.
Right.
And probably some other safer investments. And to me, investing in an index fund, like a total stock market index fund or an S&P 500 index fund, while they say that is it's high risk, it's only high risk if all 500 companies collapse.
Collapse. Right.
And what are the
Wait.
chances?
Yeah. Right.
Apple ain't going
Exactly.
nowhere. Microsoft ain't going nowhere. Amazon's not going anywhere. Unfortunately, Tesla ain't going nowhere. Et cetera, right? So
Right.
it's automatic diversity. It's a bit of set it and forget it. We have
Exactly.
money automatically going in. Even today, we still are investing, and that money is automatically invested into those
Yeah.
index funds. Yeah.
So I know you have your own podcast coming up, so I'm not going to keep you much longer, but I have two more questions for you.
Mhm.
So one, how do you help your clients stay accountable?
I don't.
Oh, excuse me.
If
Okay.
they're in, because it's not my life. We we live in Portugal.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to stay accountable and you want me to help you, or you want us to help you, then you join Beyond the Bling, our financial freedom course for late bloomers. We meet every month. And so, and we check in. But I'm not going through and saying, well, Angela, last month you said you were going to do X, Y, Z. Like, no, that's work.
So your Beyond the Bling is their accountability partner. If that's basically their account. Okay.
Yeah. And so, you can get your own accountability partner in our Facebook group, Fire Over 50. Our Black Utopia is Fire Over 50. FIRE stands for those of you who don't know, Financial Independence, Retire Early. It's a whole movement. Google it. It works a little bit different if you're 55, because is that retiring early? Well, if you thought you never could retire, then that's retiring early.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But in any event, and we didn't think that we could ever retire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then also in our Beyond the Bling, and we're going to be moving to a subscription model. So if you're interested, you probably want to get in sooner than later. I've been saying that
Okay.
for a while. I know anybody who's watched us for a while knows that I've been saying that for a while, but 2025 is the year, because the work is already done. So we're gonna do that. We're also launching a side hustle challenge.
Okay.
So I've been trying to catch the flu or something. I don't know. And I thought I was going to get the landing page done this weekend, but that didn't happen. I was sleeping instead to try to get rid of the sore throat. Which is gone, thank God. But in any event, and so in those group coaching, it's usually the same people who show up, and they can get accountability partners in there. I have an accountability partner from the Exodus Summit, and we meet via Zoom every other week.
Okay.
And we chose to do that because it was important for us to reach our goals, regardless of whether it's a financial goal or a YouTube goal or a personal goal.
Okay.
Something. So
And my last question for you: what does being unapologetically 50 plus mean to you? I ask all my guests.
You ask everybody that.
I sure do.
So the interesting thing is, we were hanging out the other day with someone's mom who's probably 80 plus. No filter. My mom, no filter.
Right.
And so, for me, especially because I'm not, nobody's signing my time card anymore. It means that I can be my authentic self, and I don't have to put on a face to meet the faces that be me. Because in the United States, you have to wear all of this armor. Right? You have to put on all this armor to deal with them folks. And just to go out in the world knowing that there's a group of people who think it is their job on this earth to police us, right? To police our actions, our movements, our thoughts, our behavior, etc. And and dealing with that I don't think we realize the toll that takes. And so not having to do that and to show up as I want to show up, to me, is the crux of being unapologetically 50 plus. And feeling comfortable within my own skin.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, Halisi, thank you so much for coming on. You always support me, and I truly appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm sorry for the tech issues, guys. I'm so sorry. I still haven't found that email.
Oh, maybe it went into your spam. I don't know.
Well, when I search, it goes it checks spam. So I don't know. And maybe I was just looking too fast, or
No, well, that's okay. You got on here, you did your thing, so I appreciate it. So please, guys, remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and check out Halisi on Our Black Utopia. Her and Rick are amazing. I love listening to them. They keep me motivated. Because sometimes, I'm like, do I really want? Yes, I want to move, Angela. Stop. We're going to do this. So, because it's a big feat to do that. So, but they keep me motivated.
You're so welcome. And here's the thing: nothing's permanent.
Right.
And you want to move.
I do.
The lifestyle abroad, y'all, it's a whole different vibe. It is a whole different vibe. So I appreciate having us on. And tonight we're going to be talking, tonight, because it's 7:00 here. Today we're going to be talking about how our life has changed since we left.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to tune on in.
Yep. How our life has changed. And some of it little stuff. Yeah. Some of it's little stuff. Because, people think that, I don't know what people think, but they ask us questions. It's like, huh? Okay. So, yeah. So, de nada.
I said, I did not. It's not de nada for Portuguese, is it?
You're welcome.
Really? Oh, okay. Okay, then I don't have to learn that one. I know that one.
Well, look, if you know Spanish, you can learn Portuguese easier, I think.
Oh, okay.
More easier.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah,
only learned a little bit of Spanish, but that's okay. When I get out there, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn it all.
right.
All
That's
right, y'all. Thank you again for joining us. Check out Halisi on our Black Utopia, Halisi and Rick, and you guys, they're amazing. So thank you guys for joining us. See you guys
thank
soon.
you.
Bye. Bye, Halisi.